Between 1945 and 1970, the vast majority of British and French colonies were liberated. This liberation came about in various ways. Some countries attained independence through violent revolution. Others took a more gradual approach and allowed the country whose rule they were under to slowly allot for them more and more independence. There are many international causes for the process of decolonization, as well as a few notable domestic causes. Bombings in Europe during World War II left economies of imperial powers devastated. The cost of reparations made it difficult for the nations to provide funding for their colonies. Lack of finances also made the suppression of nationalist uprisings difficult to an unprecedented extent. The war aims of France and Britain, who are both associated with the Allied powers from World War II, are defined as liberally democratic. This undermined the legitimacy of the respective powers as owners of large empires. Prior to rapid decolonization, Japan had driven some countries out of their territories during World War II. Within the British Empire, liberation of colonies was attained relatively peacefully. The Cohen-Kane Plan of 1946 provided for preparation of British colonies for independence. Two prime examples of successful liberations under this plan are the former British colonies of Nigeria and Ghana. Another prime example of peaceful liberation can be associated with Mohandas Gandhi, who pushed for liberation through passive resistance. British decolonization reached its peak in the early to mid-1950s, following the Algerian and Suez crises. These two events marked violent revolutions that Britain did not have a desire to take part in within its own empire. Therefore, Britain chose to rapidly decolonize. The Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries in 1960, a declaration written by the United Nations, confirmed this decolonization and formally recognized the independence of the former colonies. Nationalist uprisings were a prime cause of decolonization. The French Empire collapsed less peacefully. The Algerian crisis broke out when the French settlers living in Algeria, who made up about 20% of the Algerian population, dubbed the Pieds Noirs, and Muslim natives began disputing during celebrations for Allied victory in World War II in the city of Sétif. Within the country of France, they reacted very subtly. French rule was finally overthrown on July 3rd of 1962. The Pieds Noirs, as well as Muslims who had supported France, fled the country and power was taken over by Mohammed Ben Bella. A large contributing factor to the process of decolonization was the emergence of new superpowers in world politics. The two superpowers of the US and Soviet Union urged the imperial glory of Britain and France to come to an end. American President Roosevelt was an important advocate of decolonization. This could possibly be attributed to a desire for more power for America in world politics. The loss of British and French colonies would weaken both the countries significantly. By the end of the 1960s, the process of decolonization was virtually complete. Although economic conditions of today for France and Britain are looking much better, their colonies remain liberated. Today, only 16 colonies remain in the entire world.